Come sit, child. I have a story your heart has been waiting for.
The will was supposed to bring peace. That's what everyone said. Closure, answers, an ending. But when we sat down to hear it, I realized something almost immediately. This wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning of a truth we weren't ready for. The room was quiet in that uncomfortable way people get when they don't know where to put their hands. The kind of quiet where chairs creak louder than they should and every breath feels noticeable. We were all there. Family. Some close. Some distant. Some people who hadn't spoken in years suddenly sitting shoulder to shoulder. The funeral had already passed. Tears had already been shed. Hugs had already been given. This was supposed to be simple. The lawyer cleared his throat and adjusted the papers in front of him. I remember thinking how calm he looked. Like this was just another afternoon for him. For us it felt heavier. He began reading. At first, everything sounded normal. Names, amounts, formal language that didn't mean much emotionally, personal belongings, old furniture, things no one really cared about. People relaxed a little. Someone even smiled. Then he paused, just for a moment, and in that pause something shifted. He looked up from the paper and said, "There is an additional clause." No one spoke. No one moved. He continued reading, his voice steady, professional, emotionless. That's when we heard the name. A name none of us expected. Not a typo. Not a misunderstanding. A name that didn't belong to anyone sitting in that room. I felt my stomach drop before my mind could catch up. At first I thought maybe I misheard it. That happens when you're emotional. But then I looked around. Every face told the same story. Confusion, shock, and something else. Recognition. Someone new. The lawyer kept reading, explaining how part of the estate was being left to this person. How a letter was attached. How instructions were clear. This wasn't a mistake. This was intentional. Silence filled the room again. Heavier this time. Someone shifted in their chair. Someone else cleared their throat. No one spoke. We all waited for someone to say something. No one did. Finally, someone asked the question we were all thinking. Who is that? The lawyer looked down at the papers again and said, "That information is in the letter." He unfolded a single page. I'll never forget how quiet the room became. Even the air felt still. The letter explained everything. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just honestly. Years ago, before most of us were born, there had been a relationship. A secret one. One that never made it into family stories or photo albums. A child. Not raised with us. Not spoken about. But never forgotten. The letter said something that hit me harder than the revelation itself. I didn't speak about this because I was afraid of what it would do to the family. That sentence stayed with me. Because suddenly, the story wasn't about money. It was about silence. About how many years someone lived carrying a truth alone. I looked around the room again. Some people were angry. Some were hurt. Some were staring at the floor. And some looked relieved. That's when I understood something important. Secrets don't just hurt the people who don't know them. They hurt the people who carry them too. The will reading ended shortly after that. There were no arguments. No shouting. Just people standing up quietly, unsure of what to say next. Outside, life continued like nothing had happened. Cars passed. People walked by. But for us, everything had changed. On the drive home, I kept thinking about that letter, about the fear behind it, about how many families are built on things that were never said. The truth didn't destroy us that day, but it did something else. It forced us to see our past differently, to understand that silence isn't always about peace. Sometimes it's about fear. And sometimes the truth doesn't come when we want it to, comes when it has to. At the reading of the will, if this story stayed with you, if it reminded you of something your family never talks about, thank you for listening. Like the video if it meant something to you. share it with someone who understands, and subscribe for more stories about the truths that surface when silence finally breaks.
Thank you for watching and listening to my stories. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of Grandma.